Hi, I'm Leanne Ely. I'm a nutritionist, a New York Times best-selling author, and some people even say I'm a life coach. I started the Daily Dish Show to share my story, my truth, and my journey to vibrancy, and to inspire others to do the same. Because it's all about grit, perseverance, and finding a way despite the odds. It's about embracing the whole woman, not just the parts that are easy to love, and feeding her heart, mind, body, and soul. But I found that this isn't just my story, it's your story too. It's go time. This is the Daily Dish. Hello! Look at everybody here already. It's so good to have you here. It's Tuesday. Tuesday's, what is it? Transformational Tip Tuesday? What do you think of that idea? Huh? I'm down for it if you are. Doris, it's good to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Jocelyn, Catherine, Alice, and Sarah is in the house. I got to see Sarah in person this last weekend. And boy, did we have oh man, what a time we had. I don't know about y'all, but I'm still having, I don't know, after vibes, after warm vibes or whatever it is that we're having. Anyway, so good to have you all here. Carol, you too, you were missed. We would have loved to have you here. We have a quote of the week, y'all, that it's so funny. That was yesterday. We were talking about comfort zones. This just fit perfectly, didn't it? A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships were built for. Am I right? Martha, 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 good to have you here as well. So this is cheers. This is to my, I've already had my help mix today. I had it out on the pickleball courts. I have to say, we won our games. We played a lot of different teams. It's kind of a round robin kind of a thing. So much fun. And we won a lot of our games. So it was great. Marguerite, it's so great to have you here. Thanks so much for coming today. I think you're going to like this topic today. We're going to be talking about a little bit of clap back. No, I'm not sunburned. I'm tan, honey. This is how Leanne tans. And this is with sunscreen. And this is with good, safe sunscreen, by the way. So yes, I'm getting quite a tan. You should see my back. It's super brown. And we've never had this before. But I'm being safe. Don't worry. I don't go out and just scorch in the sun. So, but anyway, today we're going to kind of talk about maybe clapping back against something. Clapping back specifically, failure. Failure is a topic we need to address because it's one that I've found brings a lot of shame, and that's not necessary. Hi, Jeanette. Good to have you here. Glad to have you here. So glad to have you here. I'm going to go ahead and bring on TikTok. So has it been helpful that this is closer? Hi, Jane. I always love that Jane shows up. Is it that this is closer? So this is me looking at the TikTok phone. This is me looking here. Is it super distracting or is it better? That I'm doing the best that I can, y'all. Just let me know. What do you think? Trying really hard. I'm trying to be a good student and a good steward of my resources here. All right. I'm going to say that you like it. I don't know. Nobody said anything else otherwise, so let's just go ahead with it. So I'm going to go ahead and bring TikTok live on because, well, hello, TikTok. And today we are talking about failure or how we should view it. How we should view it. A blurry on Facebook? Is it your glasses, Susan? Lizzie's in the house, y'all. Lizzie's here. Oh, one thing that I want to remind everybody, if you are a part of Full Bloom, and that was this weekend, you have a special code to go shopping. It's over as of today, or 12:01 tomorrow, 12:01 a.m. Get busy with that code because it's a discount code and that's fun. You know, everybody likes that. Also, we introduced the Take Back Your Life Journal. Take Back Your Life Journal can be found at savingdinner.com/journal. It's all new. It's double the size of the old one. We put every suggestion you gave us, we put it in there. So go to savingdinner.com/journal if you want to be a part of this. We're also going to be in September doing the Rising Tide, and we will do a webinar ahead of time to explain why this is a significant journal for making your goals and why it's different. You can go to savingdinner.com/announcements for all the other stuff. Okay, that's where you'll find everything, including you'll find the journal is in there too. Linky, linky, linky. Marco, Lily, hello. Anne, good to see you. Somebody said late, but here. Who was that? No, it was Lizzie. I already said hello to Lizzie. I'll give you the code in an email, Anne, because I'm not giving it to everybody because it's special for those who were there. So Jenny will pop it over to you. She's good like that. She knows how to do all that stuff. We need to talk about failure, though. Who here has ever failed? Right? Pinkies up if you've failed. Pinkies up if you've ever said, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure. Pinkies up. Anyone? Anyone ever failed? Is it just me? Well, I'll tell you what. I have failed miserably in my lifetime. Lizzie's failed. Catherine's failed. I'm reading all the people who've said that they have failed. Lily's failed. You know what? We fail. Y'all, it is part of the human equation. This is what happens. Failure is, really the definition is, it is a lack of success. It is a lack of success. Trying and then not making it. That's what failure is. In 2014, it was 2014. My book, Part-Time Paleo, almost made the New York Times bestseller list. Almost. Every single week, I would get a message from my agent. You are in the top, whatever. I don't even remember what all the lingo and lango was. I bet you next week you make it. And then the week went after, and the week went after that, and the week went after that. And guess what? I didn't make it. Didn't make it. I had before one other time. That's how we knew I was close, because they have this, they have this affection for those who've been on the New York Times bestseller list before. And so, she was able to watch it and to see how I was doing and let me know. Didn't get on. I didn't get on. And there were a number of reasons, of course, why it didn't work out the second time around. The rules had certainly changed on how this whole thing had worked out, and I won't even go into all of that. There's a lot of gaming the system. I don't think that's a big mystery. I think people know that. And I chose not to play. I wanted to do it the good old-fashioned way, the way I did it the first time. And guess what? It just didn't work out. Now, I could have viewed myself as an abject failure because I didn't make the list. Or I could have viewed myself the way I did view myself, fortunately, was I gave it everything I had. And I played as hard as I could with everything that I had. And you know what? So what? Is that who I am? Is that what defines me? Or giving it my very best shot, what defines me, right? That's the goods right there, guys. That's the stuff. That's when you know what you're made of. And at that moment, I had a very proud moment. I was proud of myself because I gave it everything that I had. And I was really proud of myself because, you know what? If that's not good enough, and if I'm not going to game it, and if it's not going to happen, this, that, and the other thing, it is what it is. And I was able to let it go. Now, a few years prior to that, I wouldn't have been. Through a few years prior to that, I would have been beating myself up. I should have made it. What's the heck? And blah, 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 blah. But I'm going to tell you what. We have to clap back against this notion that failure means you're a failure. When a failure event happens, that we take that and label ourselves as failures. That's garbage. Just absolute 100% garbage. And when failure comes because of an honest analysis, and you're saying because of negligence or lack of trying or non-performance or whatever else, then we take responsibility for that, right? That's how we learn too, by the way. But when we give it our all, and when we do what we can with what we have, and we still fail, The event, the attempt failed. We are not failures. Okay? Amen? This thing is every single one. And I asked y'all, who here has failed? Who's had a failure in their life? Everybody, pinkies up, man. Pinkies up is agreement, by the way, TikTok. But I want to come back to this failure of taking it very, very personally, of taking failure so personally that we can only see ourselves through that clouded lens. And when we see ourselves through that clouded lens, all the good stuff that we've done, all the other things that we've done in our lives don't seem to matter. Hey, TikTok, I've got some news for you. I got a lot of really nasty comments, but I also get a lot of really good comments. And I've got a lot of really good people hanging out and watching my videos and such on TikTok. And I appreciate you all. I mean, big time. Appreciate you. I don't appreciate trolls, but I also don't need to focus on them. It took me aback simply because I hadn't been in that cesspool of low vibe garbage before. I kind of purposely kept myself out of it, but I don't have to dwell on that, nor do I need to focus on that. And no, I'm not a failure. No, I'm not. I've got people who disagree with me, and that's fine. I can walk away from that. This is what I'm talking about. We don't need to be labeling ourselves as failure. What failure does is it helps us to realize what we need to refocus on. It does. Are we going to focus on those trolls, or are we going to focus on people who say, hey, I need some help with such and such? When somebody says, hey, I need help with something, I'm going to make a video for them. I'm going to help them out as best I can. Are you kidding? Of course I am. My mission in life is to enable and empower as many women as I possibly can to live their most vibrant life. That's it. That's how I'm marked for life for that purpose. And if that's the case, I'm going to do what I can. Meanwhile, as Jane said, the trolls can stay under the bridge. They can. Where they belong, right? Where they belong. But I want you to recognize something here. I mean, we're going to talk about this whole idea of how to analyze and to move into a place so that we can start constructing what it is that we do want to focus on. But I want you to recognize something first, and this is going to blow you away. You ready? You can find inspiration in yourself. You can find inspiration even in the failure. You know why? Because if you gave it your all, if you put everything you had into it and it didn't work out anyway, you can pat yourself on the back and said, I did this. And maybe you can go back and look at it and say, you know what? This is what you can do better next time. Not to beat yourself up, not to pick yourself apart, but to see in the final analysis what can help, right? What can help? The thing is that when we find inspiration in ourselves, we find that in our reluctance to give up, we're finding a resilience inside of us that we didn't know existed. We're finding ourselves with this. We got the grit, not the quit. I look at this little cup every single day, grateful for the fact that that's what's in my spine is grit. And that will make it so that I never quit. I'm going to have wavering times. You're going to have wavering times. Oh my gosh, we do. We're going to have times when we just ask, well, am I really making an impact? Am I doing what it is that I need to do? Should I be doing this kind of work? Should I be doing something else? I've joked before and said, maybe I'll just quit and be a Walmart greeter. I think I'd be a good one. I would give it my all, y'all. I would. But failure also seeds creativity. Now, hear me on this. It seeds creativity because it requires us to revise our approach. We look at it and, like I said, we're not taking it personally. We are looking at it like, what happened here? I like that because that is not personal at all. That is just looking at something with a complete objectified view, not objectified, subjective view of what the heck is going on. What is this? It's sort of a spreadsheet of an event so that we can see what happened, so we can pull out This worked, this didn't. You see where I'm going with all of that? In 2000, goodness, what am I going to say? 2017, I guess it was. I needed to pivot. I've been in business since 2001, right? That's a lot. That's 21 years. And in 21 years, can I tell you that the world has changed just a little bit, a lot of it. The world has really made a big, big change. And where I was the first on the menu planning planet, to make these menu planners, and a lot of people came along after me saying, oh, here's a menu mailer, here's a menu mailer. And I'm like, wait, that's mine. It didn't matter, because in 2016, 2017, nobody was interested anymore, because they were going to Pinterest and getting free menus, lots of, and the whole world had changed with the food and the influencers and the recipes and the way that they were done with all this photography and everything. I mean, beautiful talent out there, including my daughter. You know that. You've seen her work. And those of you who are here this weekend, you've tasted her work as well. But I had to pivot. And it wasn't because our menu mailer, which was changed to Dinner Answers later on, was a failure. It just wasn't the same thing. And we needed to pivot, right? We needed to pivot. So we all have the opportunity to learn about ourselves, to learn what works, what doesn't. We all have the opportunity to figure that out and to start making surgical extractions of the things that no longer work. We sold some supplements at the time, but we pivoted over into big time supplements. That's it. We still have our Dinner Answers. We still have a few other things, but our main focus is supplements, because this empowers women. And being a woman who formulates supplements for women, that's a powerful place to be, y'all. And I love that, because I love seeing women change their lives. And I love being able to support that. That's what a supplement does, is support. Caroline's Scallion Ginger Bone Broth, which incredibly amazing. It's on inheritedsalt.com, by the way, if anybody's looking for some great stuff. So good. So good. What we're made of, though, we are like cream. We rise to the top. What we're made of rises to the top, because that's who we are. Who we really are is the woman who doesn't give up, that resilient woman. Sometimes that surprises us. Sometimes we look at ourselves and go, wow, I just did that. Wow, I really hung in there. Wow, I've got grit, not quit. And I believe that this is a clarity creator. InheritedSalt.com, Susan, is Caroline's website. It's a clarity creator of sorts, because it gets rid of the fuzzy lines. It makes things, it defines things. It gives us definitive lines. Like, it goes right to here. These are your boundaries. This is what the box is, right? It's not just all over the place. It's over here. And this is how opportunity finds its way to you, by the way. Did you know that? Oh my goodness, look at Sarah just linked that whole thing up. Yeah, the best broth ever in the whole kingdom. So this is how opportunity finds us, and failure in one thing can lead you to another thing that shows you success. Have you noticed that? When you fail at something, you've just learned you had an Edison moment. That's what we call them. Because remember how many times it took Thomas Edison to recreate the light bulb? He just didn't give up. He just kept going. And that's what we do. That's what's on us as humans, as women seeking hotly after vibrancy. If you want that, then you're going to have to really put yourself to the test. That resilience is going to come out. That grit is going to show up. Not the quit. Not the quit. Even if there's failure involved. So what? So we have had women, drop out before, here, there, and everywhere when we the hot milk sprint, or we have something going on. I've seen so many women who start, they don't finish. They go gung-ho, and then they drop out. They Irish goodbye. They're out the door. But I want to say that I see you and I'm here to help you. I'm here to hold your hand and help you to win. Because if you have a failure, that does not mean that it defines you. If you drop out in the middle of a sprint or whatever else, so what? Come back. Come back and try again. Use your grit. Don't fall down on to quit and say you just can't. It's not true, first of all. And number two, sometimes you just need a little bit more support. Community does amazing things with our lives. I want to bring this in. Community is supportive because when you are in a supportive environment, we have the Hot Melt Sprint on Facebook, by the way, if you need a community and of just incredible women. TikTok, I'm talking to you because we have them all here. But if you have a community of people that are doing the exact same thing that you're doing, do you know what the studies show? You are that much further along. You don't have to explain yourself to anyone. They know exactly what you're going through. They know exactly why maybe you want to quit. Hi, Diana. It's good to have you here. Hi, Arlene. We don't have to quit. We just have to look for the support. We have to look for the people who want to hold us up. We have to look at how our community, how we can be of service to the community, and how the community can be of service to us. It is a give and take, and it's incredible. The thing is that you have to recognize too, and here's a little truth bomb for you. You don't fail if you don't try. And I'm inviting everybody to try, to try without being freaked out about the possibility of failure. Try, just do, put yourself in it. What do you want, for heaven's sakes? Ask yourself that question over and over and over again and ask why. Hey, user 46, blah, 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 blah. Amber's so right. She says the Hot Melt Sprint is life-changing. It is. I mean, if you were here this weekend and you had the opportunity to meet our Tanya, by the way, her name's Tanya, not Tanya. We've been saying it wrong all this time. So Tanya from Canada, who came all this way and was with us. I mean, what an incredible time we had. She's dropped 130 pounds, and Hot Melt is her way of life. To stay accountable, every day she takes a picture of what her food is about, and every day she takes a selfie. And it's day 460, I don't know, whatever it is. But you know why she's doing this? She's doing this to show up and to be counted, to show up and to be accountable. That's what community does. I would, maybe she would have been as successful as she was without our community. I don't think so. Sarah's reminding everybody of one of our mindful mugs. Don't complain about the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do. Those flew off. By the way, we had a bunch of them and people were buying them left, right, and center over the weekend. Hi, Patsy. So, you know where I'm going with all of this. We can be the women of our own dreams. We can. We just have to not embrace failure, but just analyze failure, Don't take it personally and just take a look at it, what it is. Failure is a growth tool, by the way. It's not a moral compass. It is. Failure, all it does is it tells you what didn't work. That's it. It's not saying anything about you personally. Amen to that? Pinkies up. Tim Ferriss said, you won't believe what you can accomplish by attempting the impossible with the courage to repeatedly fail better. This is what it's all about. I'll tell you, is anybody here play pickleball? Am I the only weirdo who plays pickleball around here? But in pickleball, they're rated from 2 point whatever all the way up to 5-0 players. They're crazy. And I was watching the 5-0s play today, and I mean, these guys are fast. They got fast hands. They got fast feet. Everything about them's fast. Not me. I fell yesterday and skinned my knee. You've got to try it, Patsy. You would absolutely love it. Listen, this is the whole deal. They made some of the same mistakes that I made because they failed better and they got better. You hear me? Can we agree that we're going to do this, that we're going to fail better and get better? So what? We have to stop taking failure personally. That's it. Sarah just said, my success was better because Tanya showed up. Community is everything. And there are actual stories about this and studies about this in PubMed. You can find out about it. That's how incredibly important community is. So when Tim Ferriss says go and fail better, how do we fail better? Well, let me see how many things I have for you. How many did I write down? 4. You ready? I got 4 things for you. 1, make a decision to bounce back. What are you going to think about? Or we talked about rumination this weekend, didn't we? What are you going to think about? What are you going to chew on? What are you going to think about over and over and over again on repeat? How you messed up or what you can do better next time. Decide to bounce back. Make sure that you're a Tigger and not an Eeyore. You know, Eeyore has that constant cloud over his head. Tigger, however, just keeps going. So this is the power that intention has when you decide that you're going to bounce back. It's easier to bounce back than it is to go into a hole and to ruminate on all the fails, all the things you failed at. So here's what we need to do. We need to pull out all the tools, and we have tools you have a tool just in your head right now. It's visualization. Start visualizing. If I could do this all over again, this is what it would look like. This is what I would do instead. Get emotional and attach to a good outcome. Attach to it. Feel it. Like, oh, I can feel myself doing this. I can feel what it feels like to hit the winning stroke or whatever. It makes all the difference in the world. I mean, we've seen this with Tiger Woods. We've seen this with Diana Nyad, our heroes, right? You know, find a way, ladies. Find a way. And, you know, if we set a new intentional goal, like I am doing X, Y, and Z, remember we want to keep it in present tense. We can start putting some emotion behind that. We can start visualizing that. We can start seeing that. And then next thing we know, here we are on the other side of success. Or maybe we fail again. But we keep going and we do finally feel that success. And boy, is that sweet. Number 2, remember that failure is an event. It is not you. And I've told you now, I've told you about my failure trying to get the New York Times and all of that for the second time. But, you know, and I've told this story before, and I also told it during Full Bloom, but I had 2 speaking events back to back that were just absolutely disastrous from being sick and also being on something prescribed to me that made me feel like I was walking on marshmallows, you know, just weirdness. And it wrecked 2 of my speaking engagements. That held me back for 2 years until I finally started to focus on the thing that it was that I wanted and how I wanted to define myself, not by those failures, but instead by what it is that I knew I could do and what it is that I had inside of me. That's what I started to focus on. Those were events. They weren't me. Amen? Do you get that with that? This is really important. So we have to remind ourselves on occasion that just because this one thing happens, we need to focus on all these things that have happened that have been favorable, that have worked out on our behalf. That one thing, it's like customer service, right? That one troll on TikTok does not equate all those really great people that are here right now watching the show. You know, it's true. Number 3 is we've got to reframe it. I think this is one of the most powerful tools that we can have. And you want to hear something? This is how dessert wine came to be. This is 1972. Okay, check this out. It's Peachland in British Columbia, Canada, of all places. And they've got an early frost and it hit all their vineyards. And Walter Hamel knew of a German tradition of making this thing called ice wine. Ice wine. And they would take these frozen grapes, squeeze them, and they were sweet. And, the rest is history. It became a dessert wine. It became an industry here in the United States. This is a German tradition. But this is, instead of saying, I'm going to accept this failure of this crop, he literally took, well, not literally, but took grapes and made a different type of a wine from it, and a new industry was born. We can do that with ourselves. We can do that with other things. We can reframe things on occasion and just look at them with a different lens. Number 4 is do the work to get past it. Now, easier said than done sometimes, but I'm going to tell you right now that sometimes when we're taking things way too seriously and looking at only that thing, we need to remove ourselves and pull out and look and take a breath and literally do the breath work necessary, the meditation work, the journaling, talking it out. It's processing a failure is what we're doing. We have to process a failure because sometimes it really hurts our feelings. Sometimes it makes us feel bad. I get that. Been there. But this is how we can set up for the next time, and this time make it happen. I'm going to say this. There are always lessons to be learned from failure. So I want you to clap back against calling yourself ever a failure. Okay? Amen on that one. Pinkies up. Don't you ever call yourself a failure. You have it within you to be as successful as you need to be and as you want to be. You have it within you to be the vibrant woman you want to be. Success is an event. It is never, ever you. All right? You've got that? Write that down and make sure that you look at it. Lean on the lessons from failure and know that there's a huge difference between being a failure, that's not you, and having an event, which is a failure. Welcome to the human race. That's how it works. Gemini Lucy, yay! She ordered some L-glutamine. You're going to give it a try. Remember the psychological part? Keep yourself in it and believe you can, because you can. All right? Peace be with you, everyone on TikTok. Peace be with you, everyone on YouTube and Facebook. I appreciate you. I will see you tomorrow for Wise Women's Wednesday. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me today. You can find me on TikTok for daily tips to help support your most vibrant life. And remember, you are the author of your own story. Until next time.